All right, guys, this is part 2 of Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. It's very different from the first section. This is actually chords, but I'm not strumming them, I'm arpeggiating them, or arpeggios. And what that is I'm playing the notes of the chords singly, one after the other. We're basically focusing on 2 different chords, the G5 chord, which is the 3rd fret of your 6th string, the 5th fret of your 5th string, and the 5th fret of the 4th string. And compared to the first part of this song, this riff is not nearly as cool, but it is what he's doing. It is in the background underneath the vocals, and it is there. When I first learned it, I really was like, is that really what he's doing? But that's what he's doing. So take a look at this, see what you think. It goes like this. Kind of counting through these 5 chords. It's called a 5 chord. It's a power chord. We're just playing the root, the 5th of the chord, and the octave of the chord there. So the G5 and the F5. And the way I'm doing it, I want it to be a little broken or staccato, so I'm playing with single fingers. A little bit of palm muting, so you're hearing those separate notes. Palm muting over here on this hand, just the heel of my hand touching the strings in front of the bridge, and you get this sound. If you just held the chord, it would sound like this. Which you can do that as well. That, as long as I'm palm muting, that sounds good. If I don't palm mute, probably not the sound you're looking for. We want to make sure that it's staccato, which means broken or separated notes. Okay, so again, refer to the tablature that we have at guitaranimal.com. It lays this part out very cleanly. We're basically going back and forth just between the G5 at the 3rd fret and the F5 at the 1st fret, which is 1, 3, 3. Sometimes he has variation on it. Instead of just always counting through it, sometimes he'll do this. Or he'll do variations on it. You look at measure, looks like measure 29, measure 30 range, you have some variation there. And sometimes he just pulses the bottom of the chord. So there's a little bit of variation on it. It's a pretty simple part. It's fairly repetitive. It is underneath the vocals, and there's also a keyboard line on top of this. You know, a lot of times when you listen to this song, he played a Strat, so it's a thin, bright sound, a Stratocaster through a Marshall amp. When you're listening to the song, however, you're hearing this real grinding, fat sound that sounds like a Les Paul. Well, it's not a Les Paul. It's actually the organ being played through a Marshall amp, so it distorts, so it sounds really fat and thick. And so I'm trying to make up for that a little bit on this guitar. I'm using a humbucking-equipped Stratocaster today, and it's a fatter sound, and that's the reason I chose this one, so we can get some of that fatness. So this is what we have so far. Play that and build into the song. What I mean by that is it's going to start with just the guitar, then the hi-hat and the drums are going to kick in, and then the bass is going to come in, and then when the vocals finally come in, once everyone is playing, then we're going to play part 2, which is down here at the G5 area. There's variations on that we talked about. Look at the tablature at guitaranimal.com. You'll see all the different little variations, but it's all basically these 2 chords, G and F. All right, now the next part, I took a liberty. What the guitar was doing was sustaining a note. That was it. It was pretty boring. So I'm actually showing you how to play the keyboard line on part 3, and we'll get to that in just a second.